Welcome to this Excel for the web video tutorial. If you're using a different version of Excel, there will be some slight differences, but for the most part of what I show in this tutorial will be very applicable to you and your usage of Excel. Let's get started. An Excel file is called a workbook. You can have as many workbooks open as you need, and each one appears in its own tab. Here, I opened 3 workbooks. This is the book 1. This is the book 2. And here is the book 3. By default, Excel workbooks use XLSX file extension. You can add a new, blank workbook to a OneDrive folder directly in the browser. Go to the folder, and click New. Then click Excel Workbook. A new workbook book 4 was created and opened in edit mode. There's no need to save your changes. Excel for the web saves your workbook automatically while you work on it. Here, I typed Hello, World in the upper left cell in Workbook Book 1. Close the workbook. Then open it again. The content is still there. If you don't want to keep the changes you made, use the undo command or press the shortcut Ctrl-Z. Here, I change Hello, World to Excel. Then click the undo button. The content of the cell is changed back to Hello, World. You can save a copy of the workbook in the current online folder by pressing shortcut Alt F2. Save as dialog box opens. Then enter a new file name. And click Save. Here, in this folder, you can see the 2 newly created workbooks Book 4 and Book 1 copy. To close a workbook, click Close button at the top right of the tab or press the Ctrl-W keyboard shortcut in Chrome or Microsoft Edge. On a Mac, you can use the Command W shortcut. If you accidentally closed a workbook, restore it by pressing Ctrl-Shift-T for Windows or Command-Shift-T for Mac. In order to really learn to use Excel fully and properly, it's best to start with a blank workbook. Open the blank workbook you just created, and the first thing you need to do is to learn about the layout, and there are certain terms that you're going to need to know. First of all, across the top there are some tabs. This is the Home tab. And this is the Insert tab. And more. When you click on a particular tab, it opens up a ribbon. This is the ribbon for the Home tab, and each ribbon is divided up into groups. This is the Font group. And this is the Number group. There are commands and drop-downs in each group. They perform actions when you click them. For example, if you click the Fill Color command in Font group, the background will be changed to the selected color. And here are the spreadsheet, and it is made up of columns and rows. And the intersection of a row and a column is called a cell. You will always have at least one sheet. And this workbook has one sheet. You can see here in the lower left. It says Sheet 1. But it's possible to have multiple sheets. And you can add more worksheets to the workbook by pressing Shift F11 or clicking the New Sheet button next to the last worksheet. Here, another sheet added to the workbook. You can double-click on a tab to change its name. Rename Sheet dialog box pops up. Enter a new name and click OK to change the name. If want to change the color of a tab, right-click the tab to open the context menu. Then select Tab Color and pick a color. For example, orange. See, the color of the tab is changed to orange. You can switch to a different worksheet by clicking its tab or using keyboard shortcuts, Ctrl-Alt-Page up or Ctrl-Alt-Page down to the worksheet on the left or right, or the All Sheets button in front of the first sheet. To move a tab, just click and drag the tab to the location you want. There are many reasons why you might need to adjust your zoom levels while working in Excel. You may need to hone in on some numbers, ensure a dashboard fits perfectly, or zoom out, so you can see everything on the screen. I copied some data to sheet source data, so I can show you a few methods that you can use to adjust the zoom levels. You can access the Zoom group on the View tab to change the levels. On the ribbon, click Zoom drop-down to select a specific percentage level or 100% button to reset zoom to 100%. At the very bottom right of the Browser tab, there are 3 buttons available to you so that you can adjust the zoom levels too. Click plus or minus buttons to adjust the zoom in increments or decrements of 10%. And the percentage button to select a specific percentage. Also, you can use keyboard shortcut to zoom in, Ctrl-Alt+, or out, Ctrl-Alt-, by increments or decrements of 10%. A worksheet also has an invisible drawing layer, which holds charts, images, and other objects. Objects on the drawing layer sit over the top of the cells, but they are not in the cells like a number or formula. I type text in here in a cell, and then insert a shape and move it over the cell. When moving the cursor under the shape, you can see the text is still there. Let's move on to the columns. Columns run vertically in Excel. This is column A, and this is column E. Here are the column headings. They're labeled in alphabetical order from A to XFD. After the column alphabet reaches Z, it starts from AA, and so on. To select an entire column, click the column letter or press Ctrl spacebar. Here, I selected column H. To select multiple columns, click and drag over several column letters. Here, column H through M were selected. To select non-adjacent columns, hold down Ctrl key and select the column letters. Here, I selected column H, column M, and column O. Also, you can change the column width. Place the mouse pointer on right side grid line of the column letter until the mouse pointer turns to a double-sided arrow. Then drag the mouse till the desired width is reached and then drop the mouse to change the column width. As you drag, Excel will keep displaying the changing column width as tooltip message. In this example, width of column E was adjusted. Similarly, you can drag and drop on right side grid line of the column selection. Width of column G through I changed. Sometimes, it is difficult to select the exact column width by using drag and drop method because the width value keeps changing as you drag. You can change single column width by entering the exact value. Right-click the column letter to pop up the context menu. Then click the column width to open column width dialog box. Enter exact value for column width and click OK button to change the width. Similarly, you can change the width of multiple columns simultaneously by typing in the column width value. Just need to select multiple columns first. Another way to adjust the column width is to run AutoFit column width command. There are two cells with different length of data in column K. The text in this cell fits perfectly, but this one is too large, and the text is overlapping to neighbor cells. Place the mouse over right side grid line at column letter until the mouse pointer turns to a double-sided arrow. Then double-click there. By using the command, you let Excel to automatically determine how much width the column required and adjust the column width to fit the longest data in the column. As you can see, the width of the column is adjusted automatically to fit the size of longest text in the cells of the column. You can achieve the same result described above is to run command AutoFit column width from the ribbon. Go to Cells group on the Home tab. Then click the bottom half of the Format button. Then click Auto Fit Column Width. Or to use shortcut Alt-HOI. Even the most well-planned worksheets will require you to add or delete columns here. They're to make room for or move something you didn't have in mind when the worksheet was created. Luckily, these additions and deletions are easy to do. Select any cell within the column. Then go to Cells group on the Home tab. Then click the bottom half of the Insert or Delete button. Then click Insert Sheet Columns or Delete Sheet Columns. Alternatively, right-click to open up the context menu, and then click Insert or Delete. Then Sheet Columns. Another way is to use shortcut. Select a column. Then press Ctrl+, number pad plus, to insert a column or Ctrl-, number pad minus, to delete the column. To insert or delete multiple columns, just select multiple columns first. Then do the same thing. And here are the rows. This is row 5. And this is row 15. The row headings are on the left side. Rows run horizontally and are numbered in a sequence from 1 to 104856. To select an entire row, click the row number or press Shift spacebar. Here I selected row 6. and row 11. To select multiple rows, click and drag over several row numbers. Here, rows 6 through 12 were selected. To select non-adjacent rows, hold down Ctrl key and select the row numbers. Here, I selected row 6, row 10, and row 16. You can change the row height too. Place the mouse pointer on bottom grid line of the row until the mouse pointer turns to a double-sided arrow. Drag the mouse till the desired height is reached and then drop the mouse to change the row height. As you drag, Excel will keep displaying the changing row height as tooltip message. In this example, height of row 6 is adjusted. Similarly, you can change the height of multiple rows simultaneously by click, drag and drop on bottom grid line of the row selection. Same as column width. Sometimes it is difficult to select the exact row height by using drag and drop method. Because the row height value keep changing as you drag, you can change single row height by entering the exact value. Right-click the row number to pop up the context menu. Then click the row height to open row height dialog box. Enter exact value for row height and click OK button to change the row height. Similarly, you can change the height of multiple rows simultaneously by typing in the row height value. Just need to select multiple rows first. Another way to adjust the row height is to use AutoFit Row Height command. There are two cells with different font size of data in row 5. Place the mouse over bottom grid line at row number until the mouse pointer turns to a double-sided arrow. Then double-click there. By using the command, you let Excel to automatically determine how much height the row required and adjust the row height to fit the largest font in the row. As you can see, the height of the row is adjusted automatically to fit the size of largest text in the cells of the row. Another method to achieve the same result described above is to run command AutoFit Row Height from ribbon. Go to Cells group on the Home tab. Then click the bottom half of the Format button. Then click AutoFit Row Height. Or to use shortcut Alt-HOA. Same reasons as inserting or deleting columns. Sometimes, you may need to insert or delete rows. Select any cell within the row. Then go to Cells group on the Home tab. Then click the bottom half of the Insert or Delete button. Then click Insert Sheet Rows or Delete Sheet Rows. Alternatively, right-click to pop up the context menu. And then click Insert or Delete. Then Sheet Rows. Another way is to use shortcut. Select a row. Then press Ctrl+, number pad plus, to add a row or Ctrl, number pad minus, to delete the row. To insert or delete multiple rows, just select multiple rows first. Then do the same thing. as we talked about it before. A cell is the intersection of a row and a column. This is cell B4. And this is cell E10. Each cell has a unique address made up of its column letter and row number. For example, the address of the upper left cell is A1 and the cell at the lower right of a worksheet is XFD104856. A10 is a cell address of a cell that is located in column A and the 10th row of an Excel sheet. D5 is another cell with the cell address of column D and the 5th row. And so on. You can use the cells in Excel to place your data for manipulation. Each cell can contain a number, a formula, or text. Here, I enter 1 in C5, 2 in C6, and text result in B7, a formula of equal 1 plus 2 in C7. There's another video regarding details on data types. Please see the link in the description. At any given time, one cell is the active cell. It is the cell that accepts keyboard input, and its contents can be edited. You can identify the active cell by its darker border. If more than one cell is selected, the dark border surrounds the entire selection, and the active cell is the light-colored cell within the border. Its address appears in the name box. Depending on the technique you use to navigate through a workbook, you may or may not change the active cell when you navigate. For example, in the video, C16 is the active cell. When scrolling down the screen, the active cell is unchanged. More about selection and navigation, please check out another video. The link is in the description. Same reasons as inserting or deleting rows. Sometimes, you may need to insert or delete cells. From the ribbon, go to Cells group on the Home tab, then click the bottom half of the Insert button. Then click Insert Cells and Shift Right or Insert Cells and Shift Down. Note that Excel is not actually adding a new cell to the worksheet. The total number of cells in the sheet has not increased. It's simply shifting the cell you selected to the right or down so that an empty cell now precedes it. For deletion, click the bottom half of the Delete button, then delete cells and shift left or delete cells and shift up. Alternatively, right-click to open up the context menu, then choose Insert, then click Cells and shift right or Cells and shift down. For deletion, choose Delete, then click Cells and shift left or Cells and shift up. Another way is to use shortcut Ctrl plus, numberpad plus. Insert dialog box opens. Then choose Shift Cells right or Shift Cells down. For deletion, use shortcut Ctrl minus, numberpad minus. Delete dialog box opens. Then choose Shift Cells left or Shift Cells up. To insert or delete multiple cells, just select multiple cells first. Then do the same thing. This is the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and share it and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done it yet. And I would love to hear from you. If you have any comments or questions, please leave messages in the comments section. Thank you very much for watching.